it's Deborah from the attic, and today I want to show you 3 journals. These will be going into my Etsy store as soon as I can get them uploaded after this video goes live. So I'll provide a link below the video, just take a look below and you'll see the link to where you can find these. So these are another selection of mini journals. So to give you an idea of the size, they are just over 3 inches wide by 4.5 inches tall by just under an inch in depth. These are all handmade. They're all the same. They're all the same designs and layouts, although some of the colours will vary because they're handmade. And I want to show you one of these. Everything has got the same things in it. There's lots of little tags, there's loads of little inserts, there's lots of little extra bits and bobs, which each of them have, and they have the same, or the artwork differs ever so slightly. Let me start just by taking you through this one here. This is chiffon silk, this ribbon that closes the journal. If you don't want to keep the ribbon on the journal, it just slides through these signatures where they've been stitched in. You need to remove the little fox charm which is dangling here and just slide the ribbon away. I'm going to show you the wraparound design because this is a Nordic scene. These are the northern lights in the far north sky, and then there's a lovely little scene with snow, some trees in the distance, and there are little spots of gold and white paint in the starry sky, and then there's a little star at the top here and a fox looking at it. There's a lot in each of these little journals and I'm going to take you through that now. When you first open it up, you'll see a piece of parchment which has got another little winter scene on it and a stamp that says "Quiet Cold Winter Warm Comforts." And I think that's what these journals are ideal for. They're not necessarily a day-to-day journal. This is for memories. This is for what you do in the winter time. It's for when you get together with people, lots of photos that you can put in there. I'm going to show you an example of how I've used one of mine so you can see just how much you can squish into these. There's also a little bit of gold, sort of glittery gold, all around the outside edge. And on the inside is a little tag. And this is made from a nice textured pearlized paper. On the inside there are 4 signatures, and each of these contain 10 sheets of paper, and that means that you get 160 individual pages. So that's one page, that's the second page, and altogether it's 160, and that means that you can do an awful lot with these little journals. Don't be fooled by the size. This is the first of the little inserts I want to show you. There's a bear charm which has been stitched on and attached with a piece of fabric and a piece of silk chiffon, and the scene inside matches the rest of the theme of the book. The nice northern lights, some trees and a clear snow scene. You don't have to put them in this order, that's just how I've put them into the book. This is something a little different. This is a nice textured tag. It's had some green ink around the outside which matches with the green on the front, and it has a die cut that has been stitched to it, and then there's a little bit of gold glittery stuff around the outside as well. I hope you can see that. So if you wanted to write a special message in there, or if you've got a special stamp, you can stamp into the centre of there, and obviously you can use it either way. And the back of all of these is blank, so you can add your own messages. The other thing to say about the little pockets where you find these things is that they all have this little half moon, so it makes it nice and easy to remove them from the book. The pages vary in texture and in colour and in thickness of paper. Some of them are almost as thick as card. That means that you've got plenty of options for how you might want to use them. Then there is another tag. These are sitting loose in the book. You can use them as bookmarks in these books or in other books. And there's a snowflake on the top. So it's another little charm held in place with a piece of ribbon. And the little snowflake matches with the rest of the theme of the book as well. In this pocket there are 2 things. This is a gorgeous die cut snowflake, and you can either use this on a project or keep it like this, or use it as a stencil and use some ink, put some ink through this, and then you'll get a lovely stencil sort of doily effect, lace effect on whatever the card is that you've inked onto. And there's another little card that matches the theme, and this time there is a family of deer in the foreground and some trees in the background, and in the top, in the sky, there are some little gold dots of paint, and in the snow there are some glittery silvery dots of paint. The next tag again has been inked, and it's a theme that matches again with the rest of the book. Each of the tags in these books that have been inked, these ones, will be slightly different. The other designs are all the same, but in these they are slightly different. And then there's another plain tag. It has a nice little piece of ribbon on the top, but it's got lovely texture on it again. The last little bit in this pocket here has a really nice light little charm of a Christmas tree, and again it's attached with chiffon and a piece of matching fabric, and it's a fox looking up at the night sky. That is everything that is in the book, and there's a lot in each of these books. So now let me show you how I use a book the same size that I made for myself. And some of you may have seen this before, but it's useful if you haven't, just to give you an idea of how much you can pack into these tiny little books. So this is a book that I made for a cookery course that I went on earlier on this year, and I had some charms that are appropriate to cooking. There's some measuring spoons and a wine bottle, and I used the same type of closure on it using a nice piece of ribbon. And I hope you can see just how packed this is. There's so much in this tiny little book. So in each of these little areas I've put something to do with cooking, and I also added photographs of some of the cooking that we did so that I would remember exactly what we'd done. And on the back of these tiny little tags which I made, I've added some information about what we did each day. And I found this to be invaluable, otherwise I would have forgotten what we'd done. So I used this book partly to help me on my course, so I could remember what we had done and I would be able to use it as a reminder of my course. And I used it partly as a celebration of a nice holiday, and partly as a means of gathering my photographs and putting them in all at the same time. And I worked on my book on a daily basis, so each morning I would start off just by going over what we'd done the day before, and I've still got photographs here that I haven't put into the book, but I've got plenty of space to do that. And each day I wrote up my book. I had a flyer from the place where I did the course, and I wanted to keep it, and I was a bit frustrated that something this size obviously doesn't fit very nicely into a book as small as this. So all I did was I cut it into 3 sections, and then I added sellotape on both sides, and that way I can open it and close it and it will fit inside my book really easily. So that's an idea. If you think the book is going to be too small to capture things like this, just think about different ways that you can store them. The books themselves are not necessarily Christmas books, they are winter books, things that you do in the wintertime, and that would include any Christmas or festive celebrations that you're having. So those are the 3 journals. I only have 3. If you are hoping to get one of these before Christmas and maybe gift it to somebody else, then the last postage from the UK is the 12th of December. So if you buy them before then, I'll make sure that it's posted out in time. If you don't need it for Christmas, if you just want it as a winter book that you'll use for the rest of the winter season, then you don't have to worry about postage times. All the details will be on my Etsy store. Link will be below this video. As always, thank you very much for your time, thank you for watching, and until we meet again, take care.